What's up, ugly ass niggas? This your boy J Miles, and I am back with another video. And you know what to do. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking. But most importantly, make sure you share it with your glad friends. On today's video, we will be dealing with the Power Universe, and this right here is the top 5 greatest episodes of the Power Universe. So basically what I did was gather together 5 episodes that I was able to put together, and in my opinion are the top 5 favorites of mine. Now I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys won't agree with me, but you can share what you think in the comment section. Also, this is some bull crap. This is probably my 4th, 5th time making this video, y'all, because YouTube with Stars and Lionsgate has been hitting me with these copyrights. That's the reason why I haven't put out no video in the past since yesterday or today, because they've been whooping my ass. But I've been trying to deal with it and bypass it, and I think I'm finally gonna have to do it this way. So hopefully this is my last attempt. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. Now, first on our list, we have number 5. Number 5 comes from the original Power, and this is episode 209, titled Time's Up. Now for me, this particular video is in here because because to me a lot of things were revealed in this particular episode, and a lot of different turn of events happened. Most notably, I'll tell you some of the things that happened in this video, and of course you see I'm pausing it because YouTube been on my ass with these copyrights, so I'm just letting y'all know. But yeah, so if you can remember, this is the episode Tommy got out of jail. We got the rise of Proctor, and we also got, and what I mean by the rise of Proctor, this is the first time we got to see his brilliance and to see his expertise as an attorney, a criminal defense attorney. And he was able to get Tommy out fairly easily with the help of Ghost, you know, giving him that sketch that of course was dirty, that Angela was able to obtain through Isabella Ruiz, who is of course a minor, so you can't use a minor without having a parent's consent, so therefore the case was thrown out. Now of course Angela was pissed this particular episode because, you know, she could have technically lost her job. Ghost was able to help her maintain that job, but still those things happen. Also, let's keep in mind that Kanan was lurking like hell. He even got so bad that he scooped so low that he sent his oblivious non-street son to take out one of the most notorious criminals and vicious killers in the city of New York. And of course, it didn't play out the way Kanan would have hoped to do. In fact, it even hindered his plan, because now Ghost is 100% on high alert, knowing that it was indeed Kanan who was behind all the hits and all the deaths that took place in Ghost and Tommy's organization. So now he had to come up with a different plan. He also figured out that Sean was dealing with his wife, Tasha. So a lot of things were revealed in this. But of course, after Ghost was able to dismantle Sean and take the gun from him, he had sympathy on Sean and told him to leave New York. But instead of taking Ghost's advice, Sean decided to go back to his father and give him the gun and confront him about some of the things that Ghost told him. And as we all know, this led to the death of Sean, one of the biggest characters at that time on the show. So that was major as well. And for me, another reason why, outside of, to me, this episode just being great all in general, another major event that took place is Angela found out that for sure, because she been had her suspicion, you know what I'm saying? But she was able to find out for sure that the person that her and her workforce has been searching for, which is the distributor to Lobos in New York, was none other than the love of her life, James St. Patrick. And for me, it was a very eye-opening moment, and where she was able to confront him and finally tell him where we got the episode title name, Time's Up.
Time's up. Say it to my face. Say it to my face so that I can never deny it to myself again. Are you Ghost?
So we got her confronting Ghost, asking him, are you Ghost? And of course, he didn't answer it directly. He let her know, if I was Ghost, would I answer that question? So, you know what I'm saying? To me, it was a lot of great moments in that particular episode. And to me, this is actually one of my favorite episodes of All of Power. So this right here is number 5. So now, next on our list of top 5 greatest episodes of the Power Universe, we're going to go ahead and go to number 4. And number 4 is, you probably guessed it now by seeing what you see. Number 4 is, it comes from also the original Power, episode 406, titled New Man. Now, a lot of different things were uncovered in this particular episode too, because this one, it's kind of hard for me not to put it higher than what it is, because to me, a lot of things unfolded in this particular episode as well. First and foremost, this was the first episode where Ghost was out of jail. So that is the reason why we got the title New Man, because he's now out of jail. You know, he's finally back in his clubs and stuff like that, just to find out that now he owes Simon Stern again because Tasha made a deal with him. And then on top of that, not only did, he figured out that Stern was in there, he ended up meeting Tommy's dad, which is another new situation that we found out about, that Tommy has a father that was in the, in the correctional center with him, that was in prison with him. And he so happened to be a big time, mobster named Tony Teresi. So Tommy, we found out Tommy has a father, and Kate Egan has been lying about him all this time. I mean, I think the reveal that Kate was lying wasn't there, but still, they revealed that Tommy had a father out there this particular episode. And of course, another thing that was great is Ghost finds out that Kanan is still indeed alive. Of course, they thought he was dead, but they found out he is indeed alive, and he had Tariq hostage, so along with Crazy Jukebox. So he forced him to hit a lick with him while, coming together to try to come up and save Tariq together. And here's another major one. This is the first episode that we truly saw Dre turn dark, because with him wanting to be the second in command next to Tommy and jealous of Tommy choosing Julio, because Julio has been down with him and Ghost for the longest, Dre snaked Julio and set him up to be killed, unalived at least, sorry about that YouTube, to setting him up to be unalived by the head of the Todos Locos. And of course they did end up succeeding. And not only that, we got not just one major deaths in this episode, but 2. Because of course we know Julio has been around since day 1, but we also was introduced to another character in episode 303, Kanan's cousin Jukebox, who also met her at the hands of her own cousin Kanan. But real quick, I also want to point out that this was also, I know it's a lot of things that was in this episode. We also got the debut of Jason Mitchell. This is our first time seeing him. At the time, he was known as Chicago at first, and then he revealed to him that his name is Jason Mitchell. So we got the introduction to Jason Mitchell. And of course, the biggest banger of this episode is the death of Jukebox. Now, this right here holds even more weight now with us watching it. See, when we first seen it, it wasn't as bad at first because, we was like, dang, it's messed up. He killed his cousin. But now it's even more enhanced because we have gotten the chance to see Raising Kanan. And Raising Kanan revealed the relationship between both Kanan and Jukebox, and we can see that they were very, very close. So the fact that Kanan ended up taking her out gave us a lot of questions of what could have happened between the two of them that made their relationship go sour to the point Kanan was able to just take her out. Now, it could be just because he's a cold-blooded killer, like he said. Some say you ain't a real killer until you kill someone you love. So, it could very much be that, but the mind nigga is hell. Either way, in my opinion, this was a very, very good episode. That's why it was warranted number 4 on our top 5 greatest episodes in the Power universe. Now, to go ahead and go forward, we are now getting to number 3. So number 3 on our list, and I think this one right here might be the one that some of you ugly ass niggas might challenge. But in my opinion, this episode was really, really good. And I remember when it was first aired that Friday, and I was looking at comments and stuff, once Power is done, all the fans react to it and stuff like that. And I remember a couple of people saying this, and I also thought this as well, was that this is arguably one of the greatest episodes Power ever released. And I agree wholeheartedly with this because it just was well written. And then on top of it being well written, a couple reveals was also done on this episode. So, sorry about that, glad niggas. So let's go ahead and go through the things that was done this particular episode. As we know, Cooper Saxe was working with the feds, and it was revealed to him that Saxe was the mole. It was revealed to Tariq, actually, from Lauren, that Saxe was the mole. And speaking of Lauren, we also got the reveal that Lauren was alive, which led to the arrest of Effie here. And then she was finally able to, you see the look on her face here, she was able to see like, dang, she actually alive, because of course she knocked her out, put her inside of a car, and ran it into a lake, thinking that she unalived her by drowning her. But nope, apparently she was able to be recovered by some civilian who called the police in time, which you asked me, that's not very believable. But anyways, that happened. And they were able to get her out in time, and she survived and has been in witness protection all of this time. So due to all of that happening, you know what I'm saying, it led to Effie's arrest. And also, of course, to me, the biggest thing that happened, well, also you see the I forgot the name of that family. What is Gordo's family last name? I forgot about that. But anyways, though, they family was also able to, basically catch on that Drew was hiding something, because they saw a video that he did being over emotional like a little bee over that little basketball nigga, and was slipping. So that ultimately led to them having to take them out. So that was also being going on in this episode. And of course, the grand finale of things that happened was, of course, the death of Cooper Saxe. Because once Davis McLean was able to find out that, Saxe was a rat and that he was working with the feds, he slipped up and told his brother Theo. And his brother Theo was a crazy. He had already taken one case for Davis, and he was like, he ain't got no problem taking another one for little bro. And then on top of that, he was already sick, and it seems like his meds wasn't working. So in his mind, he didn't have much left to go anyway. So he was like, F it, I'm gonna take this for you. And boom, there goes Cooper Saxe, and boom, he also takes himself out. That's why the name of this one is titled Sacrifice, because your boy Theo sacrificed his own life to make sure his little brother Davis McLean was able to keep moving and hopefully turn his life around and be a good attorney. So that is the reason why this one, episode 308 on Book 2 Ghosts, is number 3 on our top 5 greatest episodes of Power. Now we're getting down to the biggest ones. Number 2 on our list, and this one right here is hard, people. I must say, very hard. But number 2 on our list is none other than another one coming straight from Book 2 Ghosts, and it is episode 409, titled Married to the Game. This was a very good episode. Like I said, this one arguably at first for me was damn near number 1. And it's crazy because Book 2 Ghosts season 4 didn't end well because it was so many unanswered questions. But like I always say on my channel, I give them a little grace because the show was canceled out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I give them a little grace with that. Due to that happening, I was like, I feel like they weren't able to tell the story that they really wanted to tell. But let's go ahead and break down a little bit more of some of the events that happened in this episode, Married to the Game. So, as we know, Carter was a major problem throughout the entirety of this entire season, but he was really a problem this particular episode. The man was ugly as hell. Not only was he ugly by himself, he teamed up with Noma, and now they had created the ultimate alliance of ugliness, of hideousness. So they first tried to set up both Monet and Tariq, set them up at a park to have them taken out. But of course, that plan ended up not working. But on top of that, Tariq fumbled the bag when he supposed to ended up capturing Carter and bringing him to a location so they could ended up, having him as leverage so that they can find that tape and get rid of him. But nope, he wasn't able to do it. And of course, Braden had to end up coming in to save the day. But anyways, after that, on top of all of that, Noma, of course, had a wedding with Kane, which was very, very stupid. Kane, decided to marry Noma to try to, gain access to her network or whatever it is his plan was, which is absolute absurd. And of course, him doing this led to his mother being in a very, very bad predicament, to the point that she had to save him because he was captured and she had to go in to try and save him. And pretty much you could see it in her face. You could see it here, and you absolutely could see it when she came around that corner. When she saw that they were planning on taking Kane out, she came around the corner and she knew good and well that she wouldn't make it out. But of course, as most good mothers do, they will sacrifice themselves for their young. And she goes down, well, I can't say swinging, but she goes down popping, shooting, blasting, and she falls for her beloved son. And of course, what makes this one what it really is that scene between Woody McClain. Like, Woody's acting was absolutely stellar in this episode, and it's crazy because he didn't even have to do much. It was just all of that emotion and love that you could see that he had for his mother, Monet, that was just carrying, of him just screaming, wait, because he knew that was her last moment. But, he wasn't ready for her to die, so he was saying, wait. And before this episode, though, I must say, I think Lavelle was the best actor of that season, but Woody stole the show with this stellar performance. So, Married to the Game, as we know, we all saw it. It was a very good episode. We all reacted to it. And as great as it was, this is what is warranted. Number 2 on the countdown as the top 5 greatest episodes of Power. And now for number 1 on the list for the greatest episodes of the Power universe. You may have already guessed it, especially if you attended my live where I was talking about my top 5 greatest episodes. In my opinion, you'll see that it was episode 610 of the original Power, titled No One Can Stop Me. So this particular episode is number 1 in my opinion because of the dynamic of everything that has happened. Look at all the stuff that happened in this episode. First off, the acting was stellar, pretty much from every character. And this is the time that Ghost really truly became the villain. I don't know about y'all, but to me, season 6 Ghost was the best Ghost. This particular episode was the episode he truly just let everybody know how he feel. So let's go ahead and dive into it a little bit more. He starts off, he's becoming the lieutenant governor and stuff like that. It's being announced that, he's going to be the running mate for Lorette. What was her name? Lorette Wash. And of course, not only that, and like I said, this one, and I'm very big on when it comes to reveals, and this one right here revealed a lot of things. So also, we finally got the first look at a first family member outside of, his immediate family, of Ghost's past, his Uncle Gabe. And not only did we get just a first look at a family member on Ghost's side of the family, it also revealed to us that, it spoke a little bit on Ghost, what happened with his father, because that was a mystery for us until this episode, and it still is. But this one right here is the one that raised our eyebrows to make us speculate on what exactly is going on between them. What really happened? How did Ghost's father ultimately die? Because according to this episode, we know that he was basically looked like he was taken out by some gang members or something like that, drug dealers or whatever. And it's because they were trying to extort him, and he went to the police instead of, paying. And Gabe said he told him he should pay them. But either way, we got that reveal here. And that, to me, I know a lot of folks, including myself, when this episode first aired, it made a lot of people believe that Breeze was possibly Ghost's dad at one point. Y'all let me know in the comment section if you thought that. But I know I thought it, and a bunch of other fans also thought that that was a possibility after seeing this episode and this particular scene. But next, we also had, of course, one of the funniest scenes of the Power universe, if you ask me. This was absolutely one of the funniest scenes of the season in this particular episode, when Ghost was going ham on Rashad for no reason. Rashad was actually trying to do him, a favor and tell him something, but Ghost just didn't give a damn. His whole time, he was just being a total asshole to this nigga and did not give a damn the entire time. Actually, let's take a look and take a listen to what Ghost had to say.
See my son. Again, thanks for stopping by. Hey, your son, James. Listen, James. You know why I outlasted you, Rashard?
Of course, like I told y'all, I'm gonna be hitting you with them pauses because, of course, YouTube and Lionsgate teamwork is hell of a drug right now. They on my ass.
You know why I took your dream? See, some people know how to win. They always win. See, that's me. No matter what, nothing can stop me from winning. Then some people can never win. That's you. No matter what you put your mind to, well, it never works out. I mean, it falls apart in your little ass hands. You know what? Maybe politics just ain't your thing. You ever thought about that? Maybe you should actually go back to being a cop. You were a great cop, right?
Bruh, do y'all see Rashad's face while he was telling him all that shit? He was like, this nigga really said all this to me, bruh. This nigga's Tate was having a tantrum inside his head. He didn't want to do it, he didn't physically do it. Inside his head, that nigga was having a tantrum. I know he ain't talking to me like that. Who you think he talking to? But he had to also realize who was telling it to him. He was like, yeah, that nigga is Ghost. No, I ain't finna fuck with him like that. But I'm gonna send them country niggas after him.
Great cop, right?
Oh, see, my good brother. And of course, it didn't end there. It was a lot of hilarious moments up in there. Ghost had smoke for a lot of people. And of course, as we know, and we actually had a debate on a live one time on who did Ghost talk the baddest to this particular episode, this particular season. Because we know that boy talked real wet to your boy Dre as well. Let's go ahead and take a listen to what he had to say to Dre.
You don't have much of a choice, Dre. You came into my office asking for money. That's it. That's what you are. You was a wannabe gangster.
Effing wannabe. Gotta get out of pause real quick.
Fucking wannabe. You had all the potential, Dre, but at the end of the day, you ain't got the shit to make it work. Man, fuck you! Yeah, fuck me. But you need me, Dre. Like you always do. So I'ma save you. Like the helpless little bitch you are. See you now.
Bruh, the man had smoke for everybody this episode, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is why. Because Ghost is the greatest character of the Power universe. Like, I don't even think we can really argue that. We know he's the greatest character. So this is the greatest episode of Ghost because he was featuring him heavy, and he really finally let everybody know in his circle, whether you were friends or foe, exactly how he was feeling. And of course, like the episode said, no one could stop him that episode. Even Tommy, he had that smoke for Tommy. He even told him, look, I'm leaving you behind. No, you ain't. Tommy, I'm leaving you behind. You can't stop me. No one can ever stop me. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, and then of course he told him something very important. And then I actually talked about this on my last live. Ghost would have been much better off, and he probably would have succeeded in a lot of the things he was trying to accomplish had he let Tommy go sooner. Now, I'm still one of the ones that believe he is possibly still alive. However, what I am saying is that if it is a possibility that he is gone, he could have succeeded had he let Tommy go a long time ago. Because like he said, I don't need you, but you need me. Even if you hate me, you need me to do it. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and hear him say it. Nah, you know what? Nah, I ain't gonna play it. We're gonna go ahead and go to the next one, which to me also was one of the better scenes. And this absolutely was Tasha and Ghost greatest scene of them together. They both deliver very well, more so Ghost deliver a really good, monologue of how he feels about this. This one was good, and he also delivered a really good one in 15 as well. But I think this one here in episode 610 was the best one. So they shared their last moment that we can say is credible, because if you've been following my channel, I told you I believe episodes 11 through 15 were stories being told by each character, but it wasn't necessarily the absolute truth. This here, episode 10, everything that happened in episode 10 was the truth. Like I've been telling y'all, this isn't Ghost's perspective. This is the episode. There's supposed to have been 16 episodes, and I believe that one possibly would have been Ghost's perspective, because Ghost's supposed to be still alive. But they didn't release that 16th episode. I believe it's because Ghost and Stars never was able to, come up with a deal on what to do. They never agreed on what he would be paid. So it is what it is. But anyways, though, yeah, the set. And then, of course, another one that was major. This one was pretty big, also given. Throughout the Power history, we kept hearing about Breeze, right, throughout the original Power, but Ghost never gave his version of what happened between him and Breeze. We heard Tommy's, we heard Kanan's, and this episode was the first one that we finally get to hear Ghost's side of what happened between him and Breeze.
I killed Breeze because he got in the way of my future. What Kanan didn't know, what Kanan couldn't tell you, is that I gave Breeze one more chance. I asked him to change his mind. He didn't.
So as you can see, it didn't go down exactly the way Kanan led us to believe, you know what I'm saying? Because Kanan told us that Ghost snuck in while, after school, he broke into Breeze's apartment, waited for him to come home to watch Jeopardy at 7 o'clock, and of course, shot him in the back of the head. That was the story that was told by Kanan. And then, of course, Tommy said that both of him and Ghost together came in and shot him in the face. So one of the things isn't accurate. And according to Ghost's story, he didn't necessarily say the details of how he took Breeze out, but he let us know that he tried to give Breeze a chance to change his mind. But unfortunately, Breeze, as they said in Power Choice Award, he's married to the game and he's a hothead. He was not going to change his mind. And then, of course, we get to the ending of it. This right here, where Ghost, initially he had 5 people gunning for him. All of them with hatred in their eyes, headed to Club 2 to take him out. We had Paz, who was pissed at him. Of course, we had your boy Rashad, who also wanted him to get him gone. I ain't gonna lie, the bad he talked to Rashad, I can understand. And then, of course, you had this annoying little B, Blanca Rodriguez, thought she was gonna issue a warrant and have him arrested, but we all know that what's his name, Stephen Ott, was gonna take care of that. So that wasn't going anywhere. So it would have been better for Ghost had she made it to him and issued the arrest, because she would have just got off. But anyways, of course you had Tariq, little punk ass, who wanted him gone. And then, of course, you had your boy Tommy, his only sole friend that was trying to prevent it. Tasha with her scheming ass. But here's one thing I'll say about Tasha. In my opinion, I don't think she would have initially went through. I know what the plan that she made with Tariq, but in my opinion, I think she would have gotten into that car, and once Ghost got in, she would have hesitated and wouldn't have been able to pull the trigger. And in my opinion, I don't think Ghost would have actually unalived her either. They would have just ended up arguing. It would have went. This is what would have ended up happening. He'd be like, Tasha, what the F do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing? She's like, you gonna turn in our son You told you gonna kill our son. I would never kill my son. What the hell are you talking about? That's what would have happened if Ghost would have actually gotten that card. I truly believe it. I think that's what would have took place had they. Oh yeah, and of course I forgot about my boy Cooper Sachs, who was also there. I don't think he would have had the balls to do it either. But either way, we know that all of them were racing to Club Chew, and initially somebody ended up taking a shot, and of course we later on figured out that the person responsible for the shot was none other than Tariq St. Patrick, right? But see, the reason why this episode was so great, and I know I'm going long on this one, because it opened up so many different perspectives of things. It opened up a totally different can of worms of things. Some, is Ghost dead? Is he alive? You know what I'm saying? What was the meaning behind those episodes behind it? You know what I'm saying? They initiated the who shot him me. Like this one here, and then still to this day, everyone is believing, some believe he's dead, but you still have a vast majority that believes he is still alive. So all of that is due to this particular episode. This episode was very revealing, and of course, this was the last time we truly got to see Ghost as Ghost. So that's also the reason in my book, this one right here, episode 610, was warranted the best episode of the Power universe. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of glad niggas gonna disagree with me on this, but I'm very open to it. Let me know what y'all list is in the comment section. And, you know what I'm saying, tell me the reason why, because we're definitely going to cover this later on in the live. So y'all can have a chance to cover live and tell me what's your list and what's the reason and why. But anyways, though, that's pretty much all I got for y'all for this particular video. This one is very long, and you can only imagine I had to do this. This is like the 5th time, people. The 5th fucking time. This one better go through, because I'm sick of this shit. But anyways, like usual, if you're cool with me, fool with me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking. But most importantly, make sure you share with your ugly ass friends. But until the next video, I'm out.